Hello. Today I'll do a quick session on the Giza Designer's menu bar, um, overall tutorial of that. So first we'll open a drawing. I'll just take one of the existing drawings that we have that has a cubicle configuration laid out already. Right, so this is 6 stations done in OpenPlan systems. That's the only thing on the drawing. So I'll first go down this toolbar one by one along with this section, and after that I'll go through the menu bar on the top. Let's start here. And just FYI, for day-to-day function, you'd only use half of probably what's around here, and not so much of what's in the menu bar. A lot of stuff will, yeah, a lot of items will not be needed. This if you want to create a new drawing, this if you want to open an existing drawing, save a drawing, check and save. I've never used, just save a drawing is fine. Save as, you have to locate it from under here. Print preview is pretty self-explanatory. These are the view functions that you'll use often. This is the 2D mode we're in right now. 3D mode is that you get the line drawings, I guess, the transparent line drawings. This is the rendering tool, what's shown right now, as well as if there were any other objects. Altogether, the entire drawing will be drawn as a line drawing with this. As you notice, while in the 2D or 3D mode, these act as entire furniture parts. So if you move it, the entire furniture part will move. Same in the 2D mode. Once this is in the 3D, these are treated as individual lines. So you can select certain lines, and just certain parts of it will be moved. These look like more, if you have multiple windows, I rarely use these. The redraw is used if you nudge, for instance, how this software works. Yeah. You get a little bit glitchy effect, like some areas that are still there is kind of not rendered. So if you do the refresh, you'll see it. Refresh or redraw, the redraw tool. Right, and this is to see zoom all, see the overall, zoom in area. You click and square off an area, you'll zoom into it. Go back to the entire drawing by zoom all, zoom in and zoom out. These are the rotate tools. It's not really used in 2D. When you go to the 3D though, the rotate tool will give you an angle of how you'll want to turn the drawing, how you want to see the drawing, as well as you can still zoom into an area, out from the area, and these camera tools will be used in conjunction. On the far left is the view control dialog box. What we most use is the isometric view. Then you could turn it further from here which is the same as this. Turning, camera going up and down further, if needed. You're creating a rendering. Pick the view that you want. Do the back and forth with these, and you create your own line. Go back to 3D or 2D. Another camera tool, there's two camera tools by the way. Another camera tool is a perspective camera. This will automatically set your drawing into the perspective view. It's like the folded view. This side shows the perspective drawing, which isn't showing anything because on the 2D plane it's just through here that it's a little bit distorted. That's the camera, that's the cluster. And point that thing towards the cluster. Now you see it way far away. I'm going to move the camera over now. Much closer. Just the angle a little bit more. Go to zoom all and close in. Close in. I should probably be explored in another session, but a typical camera height is 5 feet. Just want to get a nice angle and adjust it, and similar to the other one, if you do a pretty hidden line, you get a drawing. Expand this one to the drawing, zoom all again. And the next line around here is related to the furniture parts. So this will give this left window, it'll change it to the furniture library. In comparison to this one, which is a drawing tool, which will take you to drawing lines and notes, dimensions, etc., things like that. And this one is draw walls. This also gives you the dimension tool, but it also allows you to draw the perimeter walls along with the openings, which attaches to the walls. Goes in the wrong way. Like so. So this left-hand area is toggled between draw, wall, and furniture placement. Now that I'm here, I can run through this as well. This is the generic icon. You'll just select from furniture and miscellaneous items. It's rarely used, stuff like this, but if you're doing a rendering, these monitors and printers, etc., may come in handy. The ones that are used really often is freestanding chairs. These are generic chairs that we use for the workstations. This one right here is the chairs with arms. And in the browse, to select various furniture libraries. The one we have here right now is under the generic, and there's a whole set of other libraries. Some of the common ones we use, AIS, there's the entire series in here, like global, the various lines in here, and open plan systems, and single library, and everything is in here. So for instance, open plan systems are strong with this. Say OK, it'll load it. You'll see the entire set of libraries. From here, one that will help is the measure distance. Click, and it's in whole number of inches, but they give you the dimensions between a point and a point. Something to be careful is you'll need to make sure these are both checked here, the XY coordinates and the ruler. If these are off, the ruler, it'll just kind of point, and if you click it, it'll tell you the distance and stuff, but it's not as helpful in most cases. So if it has a ruler on, it'll constantly give you the distance, and if you put the XY coordinates on, it'll be on the X and Y axis when you do this. From here, I rarely use these entire areas. Like visuals for visual impressions, which is the color rendered software for Giza Designer. That's a whole another section. Worksheet you will use at times. Select an area, for instance, the 2020 worksheet. You can export your drawing into the worksheet. Let's go now to the following section. This is a lot related to the layers and the settings for that. This left thing here will be the layers. Click that, you'll get the layer setup tab. This drawing is set up with the dimensions layer and the new furniture's layer. These are all just conventions that I named on my own. They can really be named anything. You say delete, you'll delete an entire set of layers, and say property. Change the color settings as well as the name, as well as the little functions. For instance, you do custom, say blue, okay, okay. Furniture's layer just turned blue. Now display mode, it's on right now. Say off and okay. It'll hide it. Say back. Okay, you'll see it, but you can't select it anymore. This dimension layer is still on, so you can touch it. Turn it on. So by separating the various elements in your drawing with layers and turning them on, off, and back is a way to keep control of your drawing. Sometimes what I do is, even if the majority of the final drawing will be in like all black, I'll separate various components in different colors so that it's easy to go through the drawing and assign it a color temporarily while I'm drawing it, and then change the settings back later when you export it. The work layer is what you select. The work layer, the layer that you'll be working on. So now that I'm in the dimension layer, whatever I insert from now on will be under the dimension layer. And just as a tip that will help in general, not just the layer setup, this top left thing right here is the pin. You can turn it, this is off, this is pinned. It's showing how it's like digging in, I guess. If you have the pin on, if you say OK, it'll keep this thing here, this window here. If you say off every time you say OK, that the window will go away. You can do it either way. It's a matter of how frequently you use the window, depending on what you're doing. I usually just the layers tab is used often for me, so I keep it here. If you want to add a little, right here. These are the color settings, but I don't use it much. If I want to change the color, I do it by layers. Right now, I get the clock because the autosave. Giza does this on its own occasionally, and just need to live with it. The autosave you can't really rely on much as a recovery method, but it'll do it. In my on certain cases, if you need to recover a drawing, the autosave might have something saved for you, but it's not that reliable. So a piece of advice is to save often. When I'm doing a major drawing, I keep pretty much my left hand is on Control S so that it's safe when I feel like saving. Yeah, very quickly. And what else from the menu bar here? This area doesn't really need to be touched. I keep snapping off, and just the 3D is normal, is fine. How you draw will react in different ways if you change the settings, but you just want to keep it standard. How it's set up here is fine. Okay, let's run through actually the right click functions. Quick. Change is used often. Change part number to change whatever the part number is. You'll need to know what the part number exactly is in this case, though. Adding a key there will change to a powered panel. So that changed. Change that. Pen and color, you could change individual parts also, but like I said, I prefer to do it by layers. It tends to be more clean. Transparency, this isn't used too often, but if you're doing a rendering, for instance, if you want to make certain elements transparent for whatever reason, so you want to show the inside of it, kind of to see past it, you can change it to transparent. Copy is used to move things. This is a simple copy, and copy step over. Copy by dialog. You can specify specifically what distance you want to copy something. Copy rotate. Copy as you rotate at the same time. But this is a weird one because I've never seen a function where on Giza that you can simply rotate. You need to move and rotate or copy and rotate. Delete is just delete. Elevate is used in 3D, if you want to see it in 3D, to adjust your elements. Elevate. One feet. Now it's raised higher above the level. This is mostly used to compensate for little drawing glitches almost. Like if you find a work surface on the ground, like the overhead is too high or too low, just things like that to just compensate for it. So Elevate won't affect the 2D, only in the 3D mode. What else? Mirror is mirroring an image due to X and Y coordinates. I rarely use that one. Move is same as copy, except you'll actually move it instead of copying it. Nudge is, I think, used often by most people, but I don't like to use it as much as possible because it's not as clean of a drawing. If you do that and use your arrow keys, you can adjust the drawings little by little. And now that I'm here, talk about the nudging tool. I'll just show an alternative to not use the nudging tool as much as possible. You do this particularly for panels and drawing. So first you have a panel and you use this panel placer tool. I need to select something. Fabric panel, the non-powered data something 57, 36 inch wide. I'm just going to click that and do escape for now, but it's still highlight it over here. I'm going to highlight that highlight that panel, and I want to reference the panel placer to bring that window up, and then this is assuming that is that panel. So if you want to do a 90 degrees turn on the right side of this panel to the right, you can press that, and then it adds a panel. And you want to do another turn back, further out, and keep going. You could do it with this panel placement. So if you want to change the size of the panel, click on something else, and then you'll be able to add panels. So by doing that, when you place items, you don't have to rely on the nudge tool as much. So that's one tip that you can incorporate when you want to do a drawing. Okay, so now I'll just run down quickly the toolbar up here. A lot of this is self-explanatory, standard on any software. New for new drawings, open, save, save as, print preview. One thing that to note is if you want to import files, there's two different things. Merge is to import Giza drawings, and import-export is used to whether import or export CAD drawings. If you want to bring in a CAD drawing into this Giza file, or if you want to export what's here as an AutoCAD drawing. Edit, undo, and stuff like that can be selected here, but as everyone probably knows, Control-Z is the easiest way to do an undo. One function that will help everyone is go edit, select by part number. And it'll bring up this window. This is brought up when you want to check a bunch of parts, so usually you want to pin it clear. And now let's say I want to check how many three-ways I have on this triangle, where the three-ways are. Three-way, and say OK, and it lighted up all the three-ways that are on this drawing. clear that. PK4, the infeed, where's my infeed? It's that one. 67 high, 24 wide powered panels. It's just one of them. That's here. And such. This is used to highlight certain panels. This can be used as a check as well as a way to change the specs. For instance, all these wing panels are, I guess, 67 high, 24 wide. Let's say you want to do it 53 high, these panels. So you can select that and that powered one also. Select all that. So now it's all selected. Right click, change part number. '53. And now all these are changed at the same time. See in 3D mode to see the panel slower. When you do stuff like that, you need to be careful with connectors. This is higher because the connector is still at 67 high. Compensate for that, by the way, you can use tools and the auto hardware tools around here. I'm just going to Control C that. Okay, so that's that. Draw. I rarely use any of these. View isn't really used either because you can do a lot of functions on the bar here. One thing that's used occasionally is on certain drawings you will want to hide the part numbers. So you go to View, Symbol Text. You do Off. Oh wait, Off doesn't do it. Off doesn't do it, but I should do it as a workaround. Make the scale factor 0. And it's virtually off. Bring it back to 100. Okay, and BOM, Bill of Materials. I don't use this one too much either, but you're able to generate a report that may be used occasionally. So all in drawing, show, and this gives me the list of what's on this drawing. You're able to use it as a check. Visualize, I think that's more for visual impressions, renderings. Report, I don't really use either. Tools. And tools, auto hardware and delete auto hardware are the two functions that you will use fairly often. In the training stages, you're probably asked not to use this function. If you delete auto hardware, entire drawing, and then take out all the hardware that were in between. The glitch of this, as you can see on this drawing, is if something was manually inserted, you may not react to it. So, see a few hardware that were not deleted. In other words, if certain hardware were inserted manually instead of the auto hardware, they won't delete it with auto hardware. Place, and it looks like everything is placed. Auto hardware can be a little bit glitchy, especially if you use the nudge tool a lot to draw draw the drawing. If it's not a clean drawing where the panels are aligned as it should be, you can get a little bit weird situations. Like instead of getting a three-way connector, you might get a two-way connector and an end cap or something, because the panels are slightly off. So you want to get used to drawing a very clean drawing as much as possible, and until you're confident, or even if you become confident in that, take steps to check your hardware, especially, as well as any of your other parts. Okay, aside from that, frame design is when you use tiled systems. I won't go into detail of that. It's a whole other set of learning for this one. Options, you shouldn't really need to access this on day to day, but if you find something a little bit weird on your drawing, the way you're controlling it, you might be able to adjust by something you'll find in here. There's a lot of settings that you can toggle. Windows isn't really used, and help not really either. So that's it. Okay, and there's the drawing. And okay, so that's the end of this session.